Konene. So one of the stories, interesting stories niko na cheki wiki ilikuwa ni story na udem anaitwa Shakira Wafula. Of course Shakira Wafula tulienda tukimjua from the protest the last year. Hapa iko Nini pia tushamhost. So kuna vile alibaki resign from the Maraga Presidential Campaign Political Committee. So alikuwa ameandika for immediate release. Public statement by Shakira Wafula. The date was November 17th, 2025. Ikakuwa ni subject, resignation from the Maraga Presidential Campaign Political Committee. Then akaendelea, I'm grateful for the opportunity to have served on the political committee within the David Maraga presidential campaign. My proximity to the campaign secretariat has provided valuable real-time insight into how our politics function and the steps we must collectively take to build a better Kenya, one that genuinely upholds the rule of law, accountability and good governance. Then akaendelea, after careful reflection, I've chosen to resign from my position effective immediately as the secretary for the political committee and from all responsibilities associated with the campaign. While the campaign advances the slogan Reset, Restore and Rebuild, I believe that truly achieving these ideals requires deeper alignment on foundational values and priorities. As our paths diverge on these principles, I hope my decision encourages meaningful reflection and a renewed commitment to the integrity, transparency and ethical leadership that the slogan aspires to represent. Then akamaliziana, I'd like to extend my best wishes to the remaining members of the political committee and the campaign at large. May your work be guided by integrity, collaboration and a shared commitment to serving the people of Kenya. I remain committed to a Kenya where public service is anchored in integrity, accountability and the consistent practice of good governance for all citizens. Then akasign Shakira Wafula. So after this happened, of course, there has to be like all sorts of rumors, like why did this happen? So me, the first thing that I thought when I saw this, I thought maybe she'd resign because she feels like this horse is going nowhere. And because at some point I was very hopeful with the Maraga campaign, but I started losing hope because I feel like it's very boardroom-ish. I don't feel like they're on the streets enough. I don't feel like, I don't know why, but na feel kama Maraga haja embrace politics ya Kenya. And politics ya Kenya, as much as you don't want the money from the people, but you don't want to give people bribes, which of course you shouldn't, you should at least meet the people, be on top of cars, move through markets, engage people, talk to people. Umechiketa Msega Gachagua amekuwa kimove house to house. That's something that we can't avoid doing. And I feel like the way right now it's being run in a way that can only soothe the ego of someone who stays online. Yes, because at some point tunaweza kumbuka we were really talking about Maraga and Omtata, but right now ukicheki we're only talking about Ruto and Kalonzo. There's a reason why that has happened. So because of the rumors, in the rumor I find George T. Diano to be a very funny guy. So alikuwa ameandika this, I don't know if he had any information, but I'll use it for humor purposes. Alikuwa ameandika, it's alleged that within David Maraga's secretariat, concerns have emerged regarding sexual harassment claims involving a top official close to the retired Chief Justice, as well as questions surrounding the management and distribution of financial resources. Shakira should provide a clear and transparent account of what transpired, as the public deserves accurate information. The statement she released was a modified rendition and not the original version she initially drafted and submitted to the secretariat. So damn. So it comes to financial resources, I don't think there's a lot of financial resources zile the Maraga team has. But history ya ngono siwezi kwa surprised, like inakuwaga of course si ati Chief Justice mwenye umesikia ni ati a top official close to. Zapata maybe kuna raya moja huko ile waga. Unajua kuna raya hazi understanding that this is time to work for Kenya, not to work hard. Okay. No pun intended. Okay, so kuna hiyo story, but still immediately after Shakira washasema resign, the next time namuona alikuwa anaongea juu my favorite subject, and my favorite subject right now is Tanzania. So alikuwa anabonga juu ya the horrors that we think Mama Samia amedo, kuzo mother kuna vile amefanya vitu zingine za ajabu sana, like the images we've seen. I remember like I was even nilikuwa nabonga juu ya that specific mortuary and it was juu Mwananyamala or something. And I ended up reaching out to Tanzania and they broke down this for me. And I ended up finding out it's actually a very small hospital in Dar es Salaam. That means that you can try and imagine what happens in the big Nini. So this was on Monday. Ilikuwa ni Mwananyamala is just the smallest hospital in Dar es Salaam. There are more than 10 big hospitals. Now imagine tukapata videos from the other hospitals in Dar. Kuna nyingine ya Arusha, it's the same bodies all over the floor. So yes, mother inasemekana amededisha like a lot of Tanzanians. And the images from Mwananyamala were like, hey, zilikuwa images mbaya sana. But sasa wacha tusikize hii statement ya Shakira, na hii statement ilikuwa put kwa page ya Kenya Human Rights Commission.
Suluhu has escalated the violence through abductions, murders and arbitrary detentions of approximately thousands of citizens. Innocent victims who sought medical care for their gunshot wounds have been forcibly abducted by the police from hospitals, murdered, and their lifeless bodies disappeared.
So that try to imagine that. Like in Kenya, after we did the protests and people with gunshot wounds went to hospitals, the government did not even go looking for them. In Tanzania, inasemekana the gava went looking for survivors because the government wanted to leave no evidence. You can try and imagine how evil your gava, your mother, iko.
Videos from Mwananyamala mortuary, where the body of our fellow Kenyan John Okoth Ogutu is reported to have been taken after being shot and killed on October 29th, are emerging with rooms piled full of lifeless bodies, some of which are now being identified by their kin. Once the violence subsided, John's colleagues went to follow up and were shown and informed that there were only 2 bodies at the morgue.
So mnachekio walikuwa nasema that kuna mbili peke yake kwa hiyo morgue. Hiyo morgue nakumbuka when the video came out kulikuwa na wasee kwa floor na ilikuwa nasemekana fridge zimejaa. So after fridge zijaa ndio waliamua kuwekelea watu. Unaweza pata hata hizo fridge walikuwa wamewekelea that even more than one body. There's that probability. But now it gets even more horrific on what the families had to do just to get the bodies.
The very few who have found their kin within hospitals and morgues have been forced to sign false statements with fake reasons of death prior to release of their bodies. Where have all these bodies gone? From reports of incineration to crushing of bodies in cement factories and continuously emerging evidence of mass graves, Samia Suluhu will not get away with the attempted cover-up of the Tanzanian massacre.
Yes, the Tanzania massacre. That's the only name we can call it. And of course, is the reality, yeah, the backlash from history yote imeanza kusink in. And in the process, kuna vile Samia alikuwa na address huko TZ. And of course, she'll never admit that she's the one who's tainted the image of Tanzania. Because remember, Tanzania used to be this perfect country till it got influenced by Kenya. So, asha blame jirani ya kutosha. So saizi, of course, ni time ya kwanza kublame international partners and them not seeing the bigger picture. Wacha tumsikize.
Mali zetu ni chache. Kama mnavyojua, mara nyingi tunategemea kupata kutoka nje. Mikopo kutoka kwa taasisi mbalimbali za kimataifa, mabenki ya kimataifa. Lakini yaliyotokea nchini kwetu yametutia doa kidogo.
Sikia hiyo. Yaliyotoka nchini kwetu yametutia doa kidogo. Okay. Mass murder of citizens imetia doa kidogo. And if you listen to this speech, you can see how much she believes 100% that she's going to get away with it. And if you have to ask me, she's going to get away with it. I think this is just something. Like, I was actually surprised when nilisikiza Ian Khama, former president of Botswana, and he was talking about how leaders should not kill their citizens just to stay in power. I was surprised. I was like, damn, an African leader said that. I didn't expect that.
Kwa hiyo huenda yakatupunguzia sifa ya kupata hiyo mikopo kwa urahisi kama tulivyopata muhula wa kwanza wa awamu hii. Muhula wa kwanza wa awamu hii tulikuwa tunapata sana kwa sifa zetu, kwa msimamo wetu, kwa kazi tunavyofanya. Lakini doa tulilojitia huenda likaturudisha nyuma. Kwa maana hiyo, tuna kazi ya kutafuta fedha humu ndani kutumia rasilimali zetu alizotupa Mungu. Tutaangalia njia gani tutazitumia tupate fedha ili tukatekeleze miradi ile ambayo tunakwenda kutekeleza.
It's so interesting. Vile Musa Maga, the name Mungu and the way it's thrown around in Africa inakuwaga very interesting because unadedisha watu kwa that scale. And I remember even when I used to be religious, nikiangalia the 10 commandments, if you'd asked me the most important commandment kwa hizo zote, ningesema ni thou shall not kill. Najua, because there's no coming back from that. You can come back from adultery, you can come back from stealing, lakini huwezi come back from mtu umededisha. But what do I know?
Kubwa zaidi, awamu ya pili, muhula wa pili wa awamu ya 6, tutaanza kufanya miradi wenyewe, alafu mashirika yatatukuta njiani, tutakwenda nao. Hatutakaa kusubiri tunauza mradi, tunakwenda kubembeleza, mradi unakubaliwa, lakini nendeni karekebisheni hili, nendeni yule nenda kamkisi, usimnyukue, lakini yule sijui kamfanyeje. Mradi badala ya kupata approval kwa miezi 3-4, tunachukua mwaka mzima tunabembeleza mradi mmoja.
So nachiki hapa nikanaambia the donors that tujali, international partners, we don't care, we are not going to apologize, there's not going to be anything ama anything. Chiki hapa mwisho anataka kusema the way they'll negotiate, and you can see ni kama na hint ya if first come to us, of course one is end up on free Tundu Lissu, but I don't think if they feel like that's not going to be enough, and if they feel like Tundu Lissu being outside is going to be more problems for them, I don't think they'll ever release him. But wacha tumsikize.
Paka permission inatoka, no objection, maneno yenu wataalamu. Tuna miaka 2 tunamaliza kipindi chetu. Hatutasubiri hayo. Tutaanza kwa fedha ya ndani, alafu wale wakimaliza na objection zao watatuunga katikati. Tumeelewana?
Cheki, wale wakinini na objection zao wataunga katikati, alafu wataendelea. So yes, that's what's happening in TZ. Of course TZ saizi, I think it come to this post-election type violence, imetuonyesha vitu watu kwa tunafikiri zinaweza happen. Like damn, that was just one of those things that was scary. And tukitoka hapo, wacha tuangalie Nairobi County. So Nairobi County government, of course, umse anaitwa Mosiria alikuwa transferred. So Mosiria alikuwaga like the environment chief, alikuwa naenda around akivuruga kabisa. And some of the things he used to do, according to me, they used even to make the governor look bad. Why? Because kuna hata like the latest image yake, ile like the latest video nimeona inaanza na mse akihandcufiwa. Alafu after handcuff sasa inasemekana huyu ni mse alikuwa na run like a spirit store, alafu ameturn into a bar. So amekuja pale wanavuruga, alafu utacheki inasemekana walibeba vitu zake zote, mafridge and everything, and then siku hizo wameanza hii nonsense ya kugraffiti vitu za watu. Nacheki like why is it necessary kuweka hizi ma X? It's nini mpaka wanazifanya kwa magari. Nilicheki sijui gari ya mtu imepakiwa pahali, wanabakiwa wameiweka hivyo, like they come and graffiti your windscreen. It's just ridiculous. So this person, I don't know place amepelekwa, but it's just one of those, like you can see people who get like they don't want to drunk with power, and this is one such person. This is a person who, of course, Musamaga, the original plan, because Umsewaga tight na Sakaja. I think the original plan was where Sakaja kuwa Nairobi governor, alafu Oki ran for president in 2032, Mimi Santa ran for governor. It was just some nonsense dreams that they had. So yes, this guy, he's been moved, and sijui mpaka to customer service and what. Of course, I'm a customer relations. I don't know, we as citizens, somehow we as Nairobi residents, are we customers? Najua, like, yeah? Are we customers ama are we residents? Because I'd want to know, like, what are we? Yes? So, Umsame got transferred. Do I think he's going to be missed? No. Do I know how the next guy is going to behave? Because he ended up being more like, what is it called? He ended up being more like a social media content creator. That's how he looked. Yes, so saizi atakuwa the head of citizen engagement and customer service. So are we customers? I don't understand, because I think that it's like the government calling me a customer. I don't think I'm a customer. Yes. So yeah, Mosiria amekuwa moved. So wacha tubaki tumecheki. Ilikuwa courtesy of office of the governor. So kuna a few other people here who I don't know what they are, but some mtu ametake up place yake ni msanaitwa Ibrahim Otieno. Ametolewa from medical facilities akaenda kwa environment. So I want to see if this guy is also going to be like a superstar and just start going around doing nonsense and unajua, I don't know if that's going to happen, but let's wait and see what happens with that. So yes, Musiria, according to Mimi, come to stories the way he used to harass Kenyans, embarrass Kenyans, put them in front of the camera, although they didn't want to be in front of the camera. I can, to a certain level, just say good riddance. I feel like, you know, he could have done these things in a better way. But now your citizen, I'm a customer service, I think he's even going to cause more damage hapo. But so yeah, tukitoka hapo kuna history pia ilibaki imenichekesha sana. So Patelo of course anajulikana for his love affair, and kuna vile ubo mwingine anaitwa Gwash aliamua kutoa ngoma, and Patelo allegedly felt like the song was targeting him. So mika kabuda fulani libambika sana kusikiza the youth of today wanaongea sang. Wacha tusikize hii sang.
Patelo, wesi wanzako na wesi washome kufugwa na mumama. Watu wameshi kufugwa na wamama. So sijui mbona una feel some type of voice kia tinatoa ngoma inaitwa mama, tunakuja kuniandikia tuefa la mnono. Tena kuja kwa DM ati kuniandikia nitakufanya mbati ulinidis. Nani ako na time yako? Hakuna msi ako na time yako.
Ni funny sana kusikia uboy jo anasema aliitwa fala mnono, cause yango lalichukua inaka mnono to a certain level. So this was actually funny.
Nilitoa dobe inaitwa Sponyoki kwa kidato, sasa nimetoa dobe inaitwa wa mama. Na kaki atu inatoshea, we tosheka. Acha kufikiria na mambling na sanka, tumia cabin. Okay, I understand jo. Alafu siko siku hizi inaitwa kidato. Okay, nilikuwa kidato cha pili. Okay, I'm learning from the youth of today. Sikuwa najua that one day I'd be that old guy. Najua. I'll be there. Watoto naongea sang. Sang inaharibu Swahili. Tumia cabin. Kama unasikia ulifanya kitu mbaya, si basi umwache. Mwache. Ni nini unashindanga hapo ukitusumbua? Sio wa kwanza kupiga mambling na utakuwa mwisho. Acha kushinda umeboroja hapa kwa mneti ka Duanzi.
At least nina Duanzi najua. That comes from the old generation. So at least the new generation is still using our words.
Sawa. Na mimi sina maneno mengi. Na message ni ile. Chore wa mama. Hapa nkujikaza kuna form za wa mama. Na usikuja hapa kunireply ya message ati ukiniambia ati nionyeshe bling, nionyeshe mbadhi. Ndugu yangu, hizo ni vitu nimeshikwa nazo. Kichele, kila mtu hapa kona kichele, kiwango ndio inabanja, sawa? Kwa hivyo tulia upango, yani pikini.
Damn. Okay. So I'll be honest, niseme sijasikiza hii ngoma. But wachana wa mama. Ni tricky kuachana wa mama. Kwa nalipa bills jo, wacha walipe bills jo. Najua like I've lost some of the enemy is poverty, man. And yeah, talking of the enemy, majuzi kulikuwa na a game between friends, and the game was between Senegal na Kenya, and it was supposed to be a friendly match. Tulienda up tukichapwa 8-0, first half ilishaikiwa 6-0, and I don't know what to think about it, man, because vile nani alikuja, especially Chan ilifanya tukaanza kufeel like Kenya is improving, but 8-0, damn. Even as an Arsenal fan, nakumbuka 8-2, at least we scored something, man. 8-0, like they're just attacking, and at no point mnizapata kale ka consolation. Like that was interesting to see, man. I know it was a friendly and a lot of big names azikuwa, but still tulitandikwa 8-0, and that will stay on our record. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Then another story ile jana ilikuwa na trend, ilikuwa ni story ya 5,000 shilling note, and this story seems to be bullshit. And why does it seem to be bullshit? I think nilibakiata nimecheki croc. Cause ilikuwa ni story jana, like one of the ili Shoro FM walikuwa meka CBK confirms new currency move Kenya to introduce 5,000 shilling note. Alafu boy tulikuwa gana SECO anaitwa Ephraim Jega akaandika, what is this about? Are we preparing for hyperinflation? Reminds me of how the 500 note was introduced to accommodate money printing ahead of the 1992 general election. So when this happened, someone else alibakia muuliza grok, alafu grok ikasema no official confirmation from the Central Bank of Kenya confirms a new 5,000 note. Claims stem from unverified social media rumors and pia politicians like Gloria Olruoba who alleges it's to lighten stolen loads. So J story na plan kutafuta Olruoba after baki tumebonga J story because maybe anaweza kuwa na some inside information, but so far even before abaki ni confirmia ma I'm just treating it as a rumor because it makes no sense to me why you'd have 5,000 shillings as one note, because I'm trying to imagine kupoteza hii note. Najua the last time I mentioned this story I talked about that. Try to imagine kupoteza hiyo note moja and how much stress that would give you. So hopefully this is just a bullshit rumor, but could it be a way of Ruto flexing? Yes, because nasemekanaga Uhuru aliswitch zile notes zetu za kitambo tuize mpya because Ruto alikuwa na gunia za pesa. So there's always that rumor. So alikuwa anataka some of that money to become obsolete. I don't know how true that is. So he was the president. He made his move about money. Maybe this other president has decided now what ikonene. Let's introduce a 5,000 shilling note. Pia nasikia there's an $1,000 note which is very rare. Maybe the 5,000 shilling note will be rare. And yeah, but I don't know why would we want that? Like the Kenyan shilling is strong enough not to need the 5,000 shilling note. And try and imagine hivyo, like utakuwa ukiwa na 100k ni note 6 peke yake. Yani 100k yes, note 5. No, note 20 damn, hata napoteza rada. Nilikuwa nafikiria juu ya 30k. So yes, 100k ni note mbao 20 notes. 30k ni note 6. 30k ni unapata like kuna Kenyans who earn like 1,000 shilling per day. So with 30k tuseme msampati wa salary yake ameingiza kwa mfuko 6 notes zote zipotee, because najua at least kiko kibanchi kibigi hata kuanguka inakuwa hard. So I don't know, man. I still think it's bullshit. I think it's one of those stories that we start online so that we make people more angry at Ruto. I think that's the case, but I don't know. Let's wait and see. Alafu nikimalizia kulikuwa na story pia ilikuwa kwa Business Daily, ilikuwa ni DNA for SIM card. New CA regulations cause privacy jitters. So there's a story that very soon ndio upate even a SIM card itakuwa inabidi unapatia na like everything from fingerprints, kuna semekana mpaka DNA and what. All this is being said itasaidia kufight cybercrime. This whole cybercrime thing and sijui whatever crime ya mobile phones and what, it's becoming too much. And let's wait and see how this happens. And one of the things that I admire about Kenya is the judiciary to a certain level inakuanga independent. So I expect the judiciary to shoot this down. But I don't know what's happening, man. Akina, this Ruto government just keeps coming up with bullshit, like bullshit after bullshit. First of all, Uhuru alikam up na huduma number, they threatened us. Paka we ended up taking it. Na kukamseka mimi niliendaga homeboys kuichukua. So what is this about, man? Your huduma, we never got it. Just your story ilisha hivyo. So what the hell is going to happen with this? So this is another story tuendelea kufuatilia, tubaki tumecheki kunaendaje. But yes, let's wait and see. The place where we need DNA and all that digital stuff, according to me, should be when it's come to voting. But it come to this other nonsense, it's just nonsense, man. But yeah, let's wait and see what happens with that. But yeah, your 5,000 shilling note ikitokea, utabaki umepledge, useme the first one that utapata hivi kwa mkono wako, utabaki umerushia mwafu, baki umemwambia iko nene.